stay tuned because for the next 60 minutes, Motorsports Unlimited is on the air. Hi, I'm Jerry Bryan.
Excuse me, everybody. Hi, I'm Janine Lauschat, and this is the 991st edition of Motorsports Unlimited. Last week, we showed you a program about the Air Classics Museum of Aviation to rev you up for the upcoming Sport Aviation event coming to the Lansing Airport, June 11th, 2006.
During that program, shot some 11 years ago, we kept talking about the planned Ultimate Show of Motion. Now everybody wants to see our coverage of that event. Janine and I will be popping in from time to time to provide updates, but it doesn't need much. It was a great show. Enjoy it. Tim?
It's called the Show of Motion. What do I mean by big? Well, it's an air show featuring everything from dazzling aerobatics to stealth fighters to Korean War-style jet fighter attacks, including sensational pyrotechnics. But all that's just the beginning. There were over 300 cars on display in the car show area, and go-kart races and mini cup car races. And speaking of races, did I mention the Formula V pylon air races? That's right, folks. For the first time since 1933, pylon air racing in Chicagoland. I'm sure you get the idea. The Show of Motion is big. If we're going to show you some of it, we'd better get started. So let's join Bill and the girls on the ramp at DuPage Airport in West Chicago, Illinois, and see what they're going to show you first.
Well, I should probably wait for Wildt Taft, but I can't stand it. There is so much cool stuff here today, and I'm going to tell you right off the bat, there is absolutely no way that we can even bring you that much of this show. So we're going to try to give you a little taste of each thing. Naturally, the first thing that I go to is when I see planes that are race planes, I run to them. First of all, you are?
John Inman, Houston,
Where are you from,
Texas.
John?
Houston, Texas.
Okay, you came a long way. What are we here for today?
Air racing, closed course, pylon air racing.
What class?
This is Formula V.
Explain that to the audience, in general.
500-pound airplane, fixed pitch propeller, direct drive, 4-cylinder air-cooled engine, about 65 horsepower.
And what kind of speed?
185 on the straightaway.
Okay, I want the audience to take a look at this. This is a 185-mile-an-hour airplane, and if I get the designation right, we're probably talking about Volkswagen engine?
Yes.
The original air-cooled Beetle motor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Boy, 185 out of that?
Yes, sir.
Well, tell us about your airplane specifically now.
This one was built here about 15 years ago, and we've been racing it for 10 years now, and we have finally refined it, and we're starting to win some races. I won the first heat race yesterday and hoping to do the same today.
Well, congratulations, but it's really windy here now. Are we going to have a wind problem?
We'll be able to deal with it.
You can deal with
Yes,
these planes?
sir. Absolutely.
We got a question, Don?
Did he fly it here?
No.
It can be flown here. This came
okay.
from Detroit. I'm going to fly it down to Indianapolis this afternoon.
Are you really?
wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it's actually a flyable airplane then?
Of course, yes.
Oh.
Wow. Now, let me ask you something. And Chuck, if you would, broaden your shot. Peggy is playing with a bee over here. Take a look down to the end of the line. How many, are these airplanes created like Lola race cars or like that? Or are these all individually built specifically by the owners?
They're individually built by the owners, but from one set of plans. So all of these are from one design, but built individually by owners.
Okay, so these are then experimental aircraft?
Yes.
Okay, but by rules, they have to follow the same set of plans?
No.
But they all just do?
Yes.
Okay, it's like somebody got it right and so everybody follows that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, when are you guys going to race today?
12:30 and 2:10.
As I understand it, and I wish Wildt were here, and hopefully he'll be here in a few minutes. Like I said,
The Wildt Bill is referring to is Wildt Taft, and the Ultimate Show of Motion was his brainchild.
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
Well, this is very, very cool, and I am hoping we're going to have more and more air races. Folks, keep an eye on them today. We've got air races today in addition to everything else.
Bill mentioned Wildt Taft. He's the man responsible for the creation of the Show of Motion, and we want you to meet him.
Wildt, I started the show without you. I couldn't help it. There is so much cool stuff here.
Oh yeah, we're having a good time, aren't we?
A good time. Let me tell you something, folks. There's no way I can show you what we've got here today. They've got go-kart races going on right now. That's 10-minute walk. I can't even get over there. They've got kart races.
The mini Winston Cups are over there racing.
In addition to that, they got the mini Winston Cup cars here. I hope we're going to get over to talk to them. We've also got the guys from the SCCA here. They're going to be running out on the course. In addition to all that, there is a fine, fine car show, including there's a Lister Jaguar here. I've never seen a real one in person. They've got one over here. I hope we can get over it. They've also got a V12 Lincoln Continental. Haven't seen one of those in about 15 years.
The Winston Cup team is over there from Exide Battery. You got Team Menard.
What about Menard's IndyCar team?
IndyCars. I got their hat on. I'm doing a little plug for them.
Okay, and in addition to that,
supposed to say that?
No, that's okay. In addition to that, we've got a Ford Roadster over there. This won't mean anything to you, with a flathead Ford engine in it and a Latham supercharger. I haven't seen a Latham that's an axial flow supercharger. I haven't seen one of those in about 25 years. You know what I'm talking about or no?
Oh, no, that's beyond my time too, Bill. Don't try to put me in your bracket here.
Yeah, I know. Anyhow, now you tell us, what are we going to see here today?
Well, you just took the show away from me, Bill. You told
No,
me.
I didn't. As a matter of fact, let me make sure we introduce you to the audience. First, tell them who you are.
I'm Wildt Taff. I produce and direct the DuPage Air Show of Motion.
You're the
I
ringmaster.
lost my voice 2 days ago, too.
You're the ringmaster.
I'm P.T. Barnum.
Absolutely. Now, I've told some of the things that have caught my eye as I've walked around in addition to all the airplanes, but you've got a whole show here, including bringing down a tower today.
We're bringing down a tower. That's what everybody wants to see, and they're trying to figure out how we're going to do it, and I can't tell you until the end of the show.
Well, I hope you're going to tell us so we can get our camera in position.
Well, yeah. Well, you can see we did a little something on it yesterday, and it's all scorched and caught fire, and everybody was waiting for the fire to go out and the smoke to clear to see if the building was still there, and it was still standing. So we're going to do it again.
So today it comes down?
No, not technically. It's not going to come down, but short of that, it'll look like it's coming down.
Okay, Dawn.
I thought they did that yesterday because I was watching on TV and they showed it on fire.
Well, what we're doing, blowing up, is probably a strong term. We're doing a little movie magic here. Matter of fact, we are filming a movie here, and we've got plenty of pyro. And believe me, by the time that explosion, it's a 4-stage, 4-second explosion. You're going to wonder why it's still standing there.
This is supposed to be very, very cool, folks. You're going to enjoy this. We're going to bring you a piece of this. And in addition to that, we've got air races for the first time in how many years?
Well, 1933 was the last time there was any type of pylon air racing in the Chicago area, and that was during the Chicago World's Fair. And here we are with the newer version of the pylon air racing. We're standing around them right now, and it was really exciting yesterday to watch these guys.
Very cool. And again, Chuck, take a little sweep here because we've got an open shot right now of the aircraft. These things are great. I can hardly wait to see them fly. And in addition to that, you've got other air show things going on.
Well, we've got the F-86, which is over your shoulder here, from Mike Keenum in the Air Classics Museum, and the MiG-15. They're going to do the dastardly deed in blowing up the tower and have a real nice routine. We got the A-10s from the Air Force. They'll be doing our wall of fire. We got a stealth coming through at 2 o'clock this afternoon. God, we have so much, Bill, I even forget. Oh, we got the dragsters. They'll be coming out here shortly and doing some burnouts.
And jet cars.
And the jet car. First woman licensed pro-jet driver is racing a plane, and then in the afternoon or later in the show, she's racing a woman captain from American Airlines. The first time 2 women have competed in that type of a situation.
What's her name?
Susan Dacey.
Okay, because I thought maybe it was Aggie Hendricks.
No, Susan Dacey, and her aircraft is sitting over there on the old Stearman. That's the one she flies in a routine.
Yes, Peggy.
Have you ever heard of a show with this much going
There's
on?
not a cloud in the sky.
Wildt Taff is a tireless promoter who spent months putting it together.
No, that's fine. There's no problem. If we got up, it's 10 to 15 possibly by this afternoon in winds. That's not going to affect the show whatsoever.
Wonderful.
Well, folks, I told you last year, we did the Ultimate Show of Motion. It was the first one, Walt's first effort, and I told you then, absolutely impossible to show it to you on a television program. You have to come out. And I'm going to tell you something. If you see the show this year and you go, oh, I wish I'd done that, you have only yourself to blame. Am I right?
That's correct. Wait till next year now.
Absolutely. You're going to have to wait till next year.
Unfortunately, this was the last year for the Ultimate Show of Motion. But as you were about to see, it was spectacular.
No, go ahead. That's great.
Folks, Wildt Taff.
You can't keep Bill away from racing vehicles very long, and he was anxious to get back to the race planes.
Things are absolutely jumping today. They've got a film crew here because of the tower that they're going to be blowing up. They've got at least 2 other television stations here, and we're competing with them to get these pilots of these race planes in because everybody is fascinated with the race planes, and you are.
Dave Patterson.
Where are you from, Dave?
Fall River, Wisconsin.
A little bit of a ride for you.
120 miles, yep.
Oh,
2 hours.
Did you fly here?
No, we trailer them all over the country because of the weather.
Okay, this is all new to us naturally because we've just learned from Wildt Taft that this is the first time since 1933 that we've had any kind of air races, pylon air races in the Chicagoland area. So we're pretty excited about that. And we just learned that these are 185 mile an hour Volkswagen opposed 4-powered aircraft. So we know a little bit about this sport generally. Tell us about your airplane specifically.
I built it, I own it, and I fly it. And it's a Samurai 1 designed by a guy from Elgin, Illinois, a local guy. Been racing it for 7 years. Right now I'm running first in the points.
Wow. Well, congratulations. Now, as we understood from the first fellow we interviewed with the race planes, he says all of them are built from the same plans.
Yes, sir, they are.
Any reason for that? Nobody tries to innovate?
There are other designs, but they haven't become popular yet.
Okay, somebody got it right and everybody follows suit.
Right.
What do you expect to do here today?
I hope to win the championship race.
How many races are they going to have?
2 races a day. A heat race around 12:30 and a championship race around 2:30.
I've got to ask the question. I've been a racer all my life. I've raced motorcycles, I've raced cars, even some boat racing. I actually have 20 hours of flying time. I cannot imagine banging wings.
If we touch, we're in trouble.
Real big trouble.
Big trouble. We're probably dead.
Yeah. So how do you race then?
Watch out for the other guy. Supreme safety all the time.
So you guys are all real heads up. You all kind of know each other and everything.
You don't pass anybody unless you know exactly where they are, and if they know they're being passed, they don't move. They stay in their same relative location.
Well, we are really very much looking forward to this. Thanks for spending a little time with us. Please don't run away. I want to close. Yeah, I'm sorry, we got a question.
How many planes are there racing? I wasn't quite sure how many are here today.
Here's the man who can tell us.
Okay, there are 5 racing today.
So we have 5 planes today, and typically at these kind of events, I assume you go all over the country with them. How many people compete in this particular division of air racing?
There are about 10 active race planes throughout the country right now. We're trying to bring that number up a little bit.
Well, it's a great sport, but you won't bring it up if you're banging wings.
How long has this been going on? Because didn't it stop for a while and then they just started again, or I'm just curious.
Okay, the first race I think was in 1975 in Sturgis, Kentucky, and it went through the 70s, and then there was a lull in the early 80s and started up again in the late 80s, and it's been going pretty well since then.
Well, this is very cool, folks. And the Chicago area, of course, is big on motorsport. This is where auto racing first came to the United States. And, of course, we're big on all kinds of racing, and I think everybody is going to enjoy the race planes. I left Michelle out of this. Thanks for spending time with us. Don't run away, please. I left Michelle out of this way too long. Michelle, what do you think? Is this about your size airplane?
Yeah.
Can we put you in these today and have you fly it?
And not fly it.
No, maybe not. Why don't you tell the folks?
Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
The Formula V planes are small, light, and fast. Let's check out another.
Stay with these race planes all day long. We're not going to, there's a lot more to show you, but I at least want to get these guys on the air. First time since 1933, air racing in the Chicagoland area, pylon air racing, and you are?
I'm Dick Goodlett. I'm president of the organization.
And what's the name of the organization?
Formula V Air Racing Association.
And where are you from?
I'm from Louisville.
And where is the organization based?
Well, we are a national organization, so right now we're based in Louisville, but we have members all over the country.
Okay, I'm done talking to you. Honey, can you tell me your name?
Felicia.
And who are you in relationship to him? Or did he just take and snatch you off the street?
Well, he's my dad.
I guess it's okay then for him to be there with you, okay? Can you tell us about the airplane?
Well, I've been in it before, and once he pulled out my tooth in it.
Is that right? He's laughing. I don't think you were supposed to say that. What did you do?
Well, that's true. I pulled her first tooth out of the airplane. She was sitting in the airplane.
Well, tell us about the plane. We've learned a little bit about this form of racing. Tell us about your plane specifically.
Well, it's basically the same as all the others. It's a Samurai 1, has the same engine. It's a Formula class. Everything is pretty much the same. The airplane's new this year to me. This is the first year that I've flown it, and it's a nice airplane to fly. We're trying to keep up with the pack.
Now, do you have a point system in your organization?
We do.
How are you doing in the points?
I don't.
He starts to squirm, folks.
I don't really know at this point, but I think I'm probably about third right now.
If you were first, you'd know it.
May change after today, yeah.
Okay, and how do you expect to do it? Let me give you an idea, because again, we're not familiar with this, and for our Chicago area audience, anytime there's any kind of racing, there's always a favorite or something. Who's the favorite here today?
Well, I would say number 88 or number 77 are the favorites. They are the guys that have been in the organization, have raced a lot longer, know all the secrets, and this is my rookie year. So.
Well, that's congratulations.
Thank you.
Anyhow, we're going to move on. Can I put your daughter to work for a second?
Absolutely.
Okay, honey, I want you to come over here and I'll show the audience this airplane one more time. So if you would, step right over here just like this. And I want you to turn around, and I want you to look at our camera, and I want you to say...
Wait.
Say it again. Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Do I have to?
Just please for me.
Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Aww, like all motorsports, racing planes is a family affair. Let's check out the remaining Formula Vs.
We've got 2 more, obviously, folks. We've talked to 3, so we've got 2 left of the 5 planes that are here today, and you are?
Charlie Terry from Kings Park, Long Island, New York.
Okay, you've got an official suit and everything. Looks like you've been doing this for a while.
Longer than everybody else. I've been in every Formula V race there's ever been.
And I understand you're one of the favorites today.
Well, I'm going to try. I was champ in '85 trying to make a comeback.
Okay, tell us about your airplane specifically.
Okay, well, she's the oldest and heaviest one on the group, and she's been owned by a lot of people, so she slept around a bit. But she's got a good engine, and that's what makes up for it. So we're going to give it a shot. We're hopefully going to win today.
Okay, but you guys aren't going to bang wings, right? Not like the other kind of racing we
try not to. We try not to.
Boy,
yeah.
I hope not. Best of luck to you. Please don't run away. Yes, Peggy.
I just want to say it's really interesting to hear you talk about the planes like you do with the interviews in the car shows. It's really neat to be here.
Oh no, the airplanes are so cool. It really is. And since 1933, we haven't had pylon air racing in Chicago. This is very exciting. I hope it becomes a yearly event. Please don't run away. Down here,
It's too bad this event went away. To our knowledge, it was the last time pylon air races were held in this area.
My name is Tom Long. And where are you from, Tom?
I'm from Canada.
Tell us about your airplane.
My airplane is number 51, Phoenix Bird, and it's owned by Dale Husky, and that's about it.
What are all kinds of racing we cover? There's always a favorite. Who do you pick as a favorite today of the 5 of you?
To win?
Yes.
Number 51.
Okay.
That's right.
If it wasn't going to be 51, who would you pick?
I would bet my money on number 88.
Number 88 looks like a winner to you.
It sure does. After yesterday's performance, 88 is running really strong this weekend.
Done.
I was just going to ask, since most of these planes look the same, is there any way that you could put a special modification on there? Is it allowed?
Let me see if I've got this right. Let me explain it. Let me see.
Okay.
This, there's all different kinds of motorsports, including in race cars. They have some race cars that are called spec cars. For example, Formula Atlantic. They have to use the same motors, the same chassis, the same everything. And these are places for people to develop their driving skills and all that. There are other kinds of racing, like Formula One, where everything is built from scratch and everything is highly secret and all that. I suspect that this is more along the lines of the Formula Atlantic, where everyone's the same, or am I wrong?
No, you are exactly right. We have a standard aircraft engine. We're allowed to do certain things to the engine. They're teched before each race, and that's top secret amongst the owners and the pilots. Everybody has their own ideas about crank selection, prop selection, etc., etc. So they're pretty much the same, but it's there are some things that you can do to get a bit of an edge.
Including?
No comment.
I knew it. I thought I could get him to say it. I bet it's aerodynamics, folks. Anyhow, thanks for spending time with us. Don't run away. Folks, tell you what, air racing in the Chicagoland area. Air racing. Chuck, broaden your shot. Show the great DuPage Airport Terminal. Air racing in Chicago.
Later in the day, it was Dave Patterson in number 88 that won the main event. Congratulations, Dave. Now, before we go any further, let's take a moment to meet the girls on today's show.
Hi, I'm Michelle Donna Maria.
I'm Peggy O'Donnell.
And I'm Dawn Caberlin.
Thank you, girls. Now, before you get the idea that the show of motion is just about Formula V racing, join me as I talk with the military.
Tell everybody this is my second year here and I wouldn't miss it. I'm going to be here every year at this show. This is a great place to be, and we're going to meet this gentleman. Tell me what he's doing here today. Hi, sir. What is your name?
Hi, I'm Air Force Captain Ken Edwards.
And where are you from?
We're from Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson, Arizona.
Now, could you tell me what you're doing here today?
Yeah, well, we're part of the air show. We're going to be flying the A-10 today at 1 o'clock. We're going to be doing an aerial demonstration, both showing the aircraft's capabilities and its tactical capabilities as we do an airfield attack on the airfield.
Okay, what kind of a plane is this?
This is the A-10 Thunderbolt II, or better known as the Warthog from Operation Desert Storm.
This is exciting. How long have you been flying?
I've been flying for about 11 years now.
Tell me, what time?
Did you fly in Desert Storm?
No, I did not, but one of the other pilots that's flying with me today did, and some of our ground crew also participated in Operation Desert Storm.
So you got to fly this in today. How do you feel?
Oh, well, it's a great airplane to fly, and I'm having a great time here at the air show, and I'm looking forward to showing off what the airplane can do for today's demonstration.
Do you get scared with this flying, or is it pretty much like getting into your car every day?
There's a little bit of anxiety, but it's pretty much just like getting into a car. We're pretty well trained, and I've been doing it, like I said, for 11 years with over 3,000 flying hours, so it's a pretty comfortable environment for me to be in.
That's a lot. Are you giving any rides today?
No, we can't. The A-10 only has one seat, and it's an ejection seat, so there you go.
Okay, well, we're going to bring Bill and we can add some more to this, okay?
Okay.
You did a great job. I have a couple things real quick. Number one, did he tell you what these airplanes are really called?
The, what was it called again? Tell me.
The A-10 Thunderbolt 2.
Okay, he didn't say what they're really called.
No.
Tell her what they're really called.
Well, they're called the Warthog.
They're called the Warthog. Now, why do you suppose they're called Warthogs?
Because they flew in the war. I don't know.
Wart, W-A-R-T, Warthogs.
Oh, I don't know.
Because they're as ugly as sin, am I right?
That's just about it.
Big or something.
They're big, ugly, and they get down in the dirt.
Bill,
This is
stumping me again.
No, this is a particular kind of aircraft that has become so useful for the military, and everybody keeps standing there. Chuck, take a broad. Yeah, I'm glad you're showing the audience the airplane. Everybody stands there and looks at it and says, you can't possibly use that for combat, and it turns out to be one of the most useful combat aircraft we have, even though it's subsonic, doesn't fly very fast, but it does a lot of things very well.
Oh, it sure does. It was specifically designed for close air support, and it can carry 16,000 pounds of bombs, and the Gatling gun in the front of the gun is the most powerful weapon mounted on a tactical airplane anywhere in the world today.
So this is a pretty useful, like I say, it seems to surprise the experts all the time. People like me that are in love with the F-15s and the Tomcats and all that, and you look at this thing and say, no, I don't know.
I don't think it looks that bad. I'm looking at this.
I don't think it's that ugly.
I think it looks good.
Well, that's because you don't have an F-15 Eagle sitting next to it, am I right?
Oh, now don't go there. No, this is a beautiful airplane. I've flown the F-16 as well, and I wanted to come back and fly this one, and that's where I am today because it's such a great airplane.
Now here's a pilot after my own heart. He's going to defend his airplane every time, just like a race car driver defends their race car. Am I right?
There you go. You bet.
Yes, Don.
So I was going to ask, what are your future plans when you get out of the Air Force? Are you going to go commercial or anything like that?
NASA.
NASA? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Oh boy, one day we'll be seeing him on TV on Mars. This will be the guy that does it. Folks, one other thing I want to say here real quick. You really need to come out to these shows. One of the things I've been watching going on, all of these guys, whether they're from the military, whether they're from the Formula racing teams, every display out here has got people with it, and they love answering questions. You guys have been talking to everybody.
Oh, you bet. Yeah, after we flew yesterday, we were here till about 4:30 answering questions about the aircraft.
So folks, this is the place to come to get, like all the shows. This is just valuable information in addition to being a great fun day.
We weren't done with the military yet. Join me as I find out about a huge airplane called the C-130.
This is so exciting. We're actually next to a C-130. This is a huge airplane, and we're going to go over here and meet the pilot and find out a little bit more. Hi, can I get your name?
Yes, my name is Mike Flores. I'm with the Air Force Reserve out of Chicago, the 64th Airlift Squadron.
Okay, so you're from Chicago?
Yes, ma'am.
And what reason are you here today?
Well, we're here to show the public what they're paying for. This is our C-130 aircraft that belongs to, like I said, the 64th Airlift Squadron. And we're just here doing a static display and showing the public what the airplane's all about.
Well, could you give me a little bit of a detail about the airplane here?
Sure. This is a C-130, and it will accommodate paratroopers, cargo, trucks, any type of cargo that the military Army has to offer. We can basically haul a lot of that.
I don't know if you could hear the racing engine in the background, but trying to keep up with all the activities kept Bill frustrated all day.
Paratroopers fully loaded with combat gear. If they weren't paratroopers, we can carry 92 passengers.
Have you ever flown any special missions with this?
Sure. This airplane and his sister airplane out of Chicago have just returned from missions over in Bosnia. We have done humanitarian airlift out in Sarajevo and Dominican Republic. We've done missions where this airplane goes throughout the world to do all different types of missions, whatever is needed, militarily or humanitarian-wise.
How fast does it fly?
Well, it depends on the tailwind. Normally we're cruise at about 280 to 300 knots.
Okay, well, Bill wants to make this short, so I'm going to call him in, and good luck here today. Nice to meet you.
Thanks a lot.
Don, I don't know if the audience can hear it in the background. Right now they're racing a jet plane against a dragster, an automobile piston engine fuel dragster. You've got to come out here yourself. The camera, unfortunately, isn't a brownie. We can't run to everything that's going on here, and there's something going on all over the place. This is a wonderful show, and not the least of which is we've got, really, this is the all-time workhorse of the military. Am I correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay, this is the big-time thing. Wherever they need anything, this is what takes it there. It almost doesn't make any difference what the event is. It's one of the, it reminds me a little bit of the B-17s.
That's true. This airplane was designed for the Army for their short in work. If they're on the front lines, that's what this airplane is designed to do, is to go in where the action is, where the battle is, to land on the unimproved strips. The runway, there is no runways, basically just grass, dirt, whatever they have there, to get in there, drop the cargo off or the personnel, and get out really quick.
And the airplane is known for taking hits and keep coming.
Vietnam, they used it extensively. It was shot up. It flies without 2 engines, with a half a wing removed, that it will still fly.
I'm telling you, folks, this is, again, they're just having the race in the background here. They've got a fighter jet taking off, the Sabre jet and the MiG taking off. And at the same time, if you would, Chuck, broaden your shot. We've got all of these people that are going through the, and you don't mind if I say Hercules, do you?
That's fine. That's what it's called, the Hercules.
The C-130 Hercules. And keep going, Chuck, because behind there, we've got people that are going through a helicopter over there. And keep going, Chuck, all the way over. We've got people on the other side over there that are going through another helicopter. So we've got action going here all day. And the one thing that I want the public to know more than anything else is that all you guys here are here to answer questions and to tell them all about this stuff, and it's an education just coming here.
That's correct, sir. That's what we're here for. We're here to educate the public, to show them what the military has, show them the capability, and just to give them an overview of everything that's we're all about.
Yes.
You'll have to excuse us, audience, because if you see us going this way or that way, as we're talking, we're looking at everything going on. There's just so much to see.
There really is a lot to see, and on top of all that, we want you to know that these guys are all pretty good guys, too.
They sure were good guys, but it was time to move on. Remember that car show we mentioned? Let's have a look.
All right, girls, why do you suppose I stopped here by this car? This is a real important car.
Well, I guess it's unique in some way, Bill.
It's not a matter of unique. This is really a traditional American hot rod. What we have here is the flathead Ford V8. Now, you guys have looked at a lot of V8s, the big Hemis and all that, right? Now, I want you to step forward over here, and I want you to look at the cylinder head. Now, do you know where the cylinder head area is?
The cylinder head area?
Yeah, the cylinder head area. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Would it be somewhere in here?
This is the cylinder head right here. Okay, so now step over here so the camera can see it. Okay, this is the cylinder head. As you can see, the head is quite flat, right?
Yeah. That's correct.
Okay. That's the famous Ford flathead V8, but that's not the reason that I came over to this car. We've got other cars here with flathead Ford V8s. Peggy, why did I come over here?
You said there was something really technically special about this car, so fill me in.
Okay, this is and I haven't seen one of these in 25 years. This is a Latham axial flow supercharger. This was something that they used in about the mid-50s. What was really unique about this, and first of all, Peggy, what's a supercharger? You said you'd never remember, you'd never forget.
It's an air compressor.
Compressor. That's all a supercharger is a big compressor on top of the engine. But this one is particularly interesting because this is an axial flow supercharger. And to explain that properly, if you saw a turbocharger is a radial flow supercharger, meaning the air goes from the inside to the outside. Or there are piston air compressors. This one is particularly interesting because this one is like a jet plane engine. It actually has blades in here, just like if you look in front of it, inside of a jet plane. If you could look in here, it has blades that spin around, and the air that goes through it in an axial fashion, meaning along this line. So it's through the carburetors on both sides, through this way where it gets compressed, down into the engine. Very popular supercharger in the mid-50s. Unfortunately, very expensive to manufacture, so they didn't stay around all that long, and I haven't seen one in about 25 years. Now we've got one of Peggy's kids that we're going to take here. Come on, Brianna. I want you to step right out in front of this car. She wants her time in the sun. Okay, now I want you to look over. I want you to look over to our camera there, honey, if you would, and I want you to say,
Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Remember hearing Bill mention a Lister Jaguar? Let's have a look.
well, I've got to admit, this one fooled me, and I like to think I'm pretty sharp on this stuff, but I think I can be forgiven because I don't think that first of all, I've never seen a real Lister Jaguar in person. I've only seen them in magazines, and it has been probably 30 years at least since I saw one in a magazine. First of all, you are?
Jerry Group.
Where are you from, Jerry?
Batavia.
And what I'm trying to tell you folks is, it's not a real Lister, it's a replica and beautifully, beautifully done.
Thank you. There's only 2 in the country.
Who did the work?
This is Beck Vintage Cars out of California. I made the reproduction. It's in fiberglass. The original cars were all aluminum, and there's only about 27 of those left from the originals.
That's why you know why I got excited when I saw it. I thought it was the Lister Jaguar. They're extremely rare. Tell us about the Lister Jaguar in general, what its purpose was, and then we'll get into this one specifically.
Well, a gentleman by the name of Brian Lister from Cambridge, England, worked under license with Jaguar to build aluminum-bodied, lightweight race cars. And the British versions had V6 engines in them, and the American version had small block Chevys. And this is an exact reproduction of the small block Chevy. But it has Corvette suspension and all the modern refinements in it.
How fast does a car like this go?
I've had it to 165. We buried the speedometer, and I don't know how much faster we can go with it. There's a lot of room left in the pedal, so.
These were extremely potent cars, extremely fast cars. And again, Chuck, if you pull the shot back a little bit, show the audience the lines of the car. This is another one of those cars. I think they got the lines just right on it.
They sure do. It's sensuous.
It really is, yes.
Does it paint like the original cars?
No.
No?
Original cars had...
Go ahead and tell her.
Okay, they had British racing green and a yellow speed stripe. The American...
Ugly as sin.
Yeah, I like this better.
And the American version was blue and white.
Yeah, let's just take a moment to explain that. This doesn't make any sense at all anymore. Formula One has bailed out completely and gone with Marlboro cars and John Player cars and all the rest of it. But originally, Formula One, there is a world sanctioning body, and each country is assigned a color. Britain happens to be British Racing Green. We would call it Coke bottle green in this country. That's Britain's international racing color. Ferrari is red, but it's not just Ferrari is red. Alphas are red, Maseratis are red. Anything made in Italy carries the red of the Italian racing red. Americans are blue and white. Have I got it right?
That's right. There were variations in America too. There were red and black, if you can imagine that. I've seen that.
Or red, white, and blue. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I thought internationally, because I remember the Scarabs were blue and white.
Right. Internationally, they were blue and white for the American and green and yellow for the British.
I was only kidding.
Okay, Peggy, you had a question?
I was just going to say, you've got to come to these to see cars like this and everything else here. It's wonderful.
Chuck, broaden the shot. Again, yes, we're at the air show. Show them the terminal down here. We're at DuPage Airport. You have no idea how big this car show is. It is huge, and cars that we have never seen before. This is a wonderful activity. Yes?
I just want to say red is a very popular color for a car, but this is a great color.
Doesn't this work?
Oh, yes, it does.
Don?
Okay, does a Cobra try to rip this off by the look in a way?
No.
Okay, I mean...
Okay.
I'm not trying to,
probably the other way around. They probably created the Lister to compete with the Cobra.
That's correct.
Okay.
And in Morin competed, it beat them badly.
Okay, I didn't know.
No. The Cobra was a very important car, and once it got real important, everybody started taking pot shots out of it. This was Lister's effort at out-Cobraing the Cobra. And do you remember the Cheetah?
Yes, the Cheetah, and of course the Scarab.
The Scarab, of course, the Scarab preceded the Cobra.
Right.
But again, these guys were trying to out-Cobra the Cobra. Anyhow, folks, we got lots more to show you. Don't go away.
With more than 300 cars on display, you know that someone did a lot of work, and we found them.
Well, I think we have found the guys that actually put the car show portion of this show together. And believe me, this wasn't easy because there's more than 300 cars on displays today, and you are.
Harry.
Harry what?
Harry Lagaus.
And where are you from?
Addison, Illinois.
And the name of the club?
Vintage Cars and Rods.
And what's your role with the club?
Treasurer right now.
Okay, and you guys did a great job here. You got a lot of cars.
Thank you very much. We had cooperation with the weather. We had a beautiful day.
Absolutely perfect day. Don't run away. And you are?
Hi, my name is Jose Flores. How you doing?
And where are you from?
I'm from Melrose Park.
And what is your role with the club?
I'm just a member and help them.
You were the one doing all the work.
Well, part of it. I help. Everybody is supposed to help.
Well, you did a great job. And you are?
I'm Denny Miller. I'm president of Vintage Cars and Rods.
And where are you from?
I'm from Bloomingdale.
Boy, I've got to admit it, I've seen a lot of cars here. We do lots of car shows all summer long, and we've been on for 10 years. I see lots of cars here today that I haven't seen
10 years. It seems like yesterday. We've been on for 20 now.
Yes, we did the one in August last year out here, and we began planning for this show last year, August.
Well, you know, it's funny. People think this stuff sort of just happens. The guys just sort of show up with their cars. It doesn't work like that, does it?
Not hardly, no. A lot of work goes into it.
A ton of work goes into every portion of a show like this, and you are?
Don Catalano.
From?
Roselle.
And your role with the club?
I'm kind of like a show coordinator. Me and a few of the guys work to, put these things together, and we're the contacts for the club.
Well, you did a great job, and you are?
Peter Lagaus, Glendale Heights.
And your role with the club?
Yes, I'm a sergeant of arms.
This is the guy with the guns, so we don't mess with him at all. Anyhow, folks, I wanted you to meet the people that put the car show portion of this together, and I'm telling you, right now we are at one small end of the thing. There's a row of cars behind us. It's about 2 or 3 deep down over there. Chuck, if you swing your camera shot over here, we've got 2 or 3 rows of cars here, including, believe it or not, that Lister Jaguar is buried in there somewhere, the one that we showed you already. And this is just one tiny portion. On the other side over there, there's more cars and more cars further that way, and that's nothing. Over that building, the entire building is lined with cars from one end to the other. Maybe the public can see the top of the Menards trailer. That's the IndyCar team over there. That's all car show over there. These guys have done an absolutely terrific job because, trust me, folks, this doesn't just happen.
In addition to everything else, look what we found.
Yes, this is an air show, but there is so much more here than an air show that it's hard to describe. Naturally, monster trucks like Sara Lee. Nobody doesn't love a monster truck, and we've got the guys here that put the thing together, and you are?
Peter Omiotek.
From?
Mount Vernon, Illinois.
And?
Richard Omiotek.
From?
St. Charles.
And?
Ed Lauer.
From?
Wheaton.
And?
Dan Lauer, Wheaton.
And?
Ed Omiotek from Carroll Stream.
And?
Victor Omiotek from St. Charles, Illinois.
And?
Vince Prince from Villa Park.
And?
John Omiotek from Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Okay, I know it doesn't take all you guys to drive it. Who drives it?
I do. Us 3.
3 guys drive the thing?
Right. Not all at once, but...
right. What do you actually do with the truck?
Crush cars.
Okay, that's pretty much what they do with these things. Now, tell us about it technically. What have we got?
468 with a blower and 2 carbs on it. Military axles, high performance. She does 70 miles an hour.
Wow, steers on both ends?
Yes, sir.
So the thing will come and spin in its own tracks?
Yes.
Little tricky to handle, and how often do you go through tires?
Not too often.
Well, that's right, because you don't put many miles on.
Right.
They don't put miles on, they put trucks on.
Right, but it's a very violent ride.
I'll bet this is a lot of fun. You guys enjoy driving it, or is it a task?
Oh, I like it. I enjoy it.
I wouldn't do anything else.
Folks, I'm telling you something, there's so many ways to enjoy one of these shows. This is just one of them, and the kids have been going crazy for this thing all day.
Bill mentioned Indy cars, and we wanted to see them.
Well, apparently I'm not the only one that knows how to put color into the scene. Look at these colors, and are they on something or what? We're talking Indy cars here, and you are?
Gary Gooch from Indianapolis, Indiana.
And what's your role here with the Menards team?
I'm a team member. My role is I take care of the truck. I also take care of the pit equipment, transport the cars to and from the race or the test scene, and during the race I take care of the tires for the cars.
Well, this guy has his hands full. Chuck, if you will, broaden your shot a little bit. Show them this huge truck, and it's absolutely perfect from one end to the other. Looks like somebody polished it, and it looks like you're doing your job just fine.
Every day.
Does it get cleaned every day?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes. My! Well, I'll tell you what, it looks great. Now, let's talk about what we've got in front of us here right now. Whose car?
This car here is Tony Stewart's. The car to our right is Mark Dismore's backup car.
Okay, I don't know Mark, but let me talk about Tony Stewart a little bit. Our audience met him on Motorsports Unlimited last winter at the big Lathrop dinner. And by the way, folks, don't forget about the Lathrop dinner. It's for a wonderful cause every year right here in Chicago for the Lathrop Boys and Girls Club in Chicago. And Tony Stewart was a guest speaker there, and we got an opportunity to interview him. A really nice young man that is going places.
Yes, he is.
This was before Tony Stewart became a NASCAR star.
He's really great to work with.
Except right now, he's all busted up.
Yeah, he's got a broken collarbone, and the report we got from the Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis, a possible cracked pelvis.
Okay, now this is a guy that really doesn't have anything to do right now except polish the truck because this guy's all broken up. Tell us about Mark Dismore.
Mark Dismore has a broken ankle, and he also has a cracked pelvis.
So he doesn't really have anything to do right now because all the drivers are broken. I shouldn't say that, I'm only kidding, because actually this is probably the right time for it to happen because there is a little bit of a lull in the season. Let's talk first of all, describe this car technically, and then I'll get to the rest of it.
Okay, this is our 95 cars we've been running all this season. The last race we had was at Las Vegas, was the last race for these kind of automobiles. We should get our new cars the middle of next month and our new motors, which is for the IRL season starting in January.
Okay, technically this one uses what kind of an engine?
This one here has the Menard V6 engine.
Okay, and we should say that was something that John Menard spent a lot of time and a lot of money on and a lot of years on. Really, he really believed in those V6s.
Yes, he did. Our biggest problem was the pop-off valves through USAC.
Pop-up valves were a problem for everybody. It really, there's no way to get a level playing field with those things, and it really is a big problem. So these were the V6 Buicks, but this is really the last hurrah, folks. Take a close look at these. Look at this one. Look at that one. This is the last you'll see of these cars. Their day is done because you got new cars coming.
Yes, sir.
And this is for the IRL.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, just so the audience understands, and we talked about this on Motorsports Unlimited before, the IRL is the Indy Racing League, and this is a new thing that's been put together by the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, by Tony George and company, and apparently John Menard has come on board with this thing, and these are using the new high-tech, all-aluminum, 4-valve per cylinder engines, production engines, like the Olds Aurora and the Infinity, I think is the other one, isn't it?
Yes,
the Q45?
Yes, sir.
So these are going to be based on stock block engines, but stock blocks like we've never had before. Have I got it right?
You have it right.
Okay, have you seen any testing with them, or you haven't got anything yet?
No, sir. They showed us the new cars out to Vegas Speedway. We're going to be running the G-Force cars and the Aurora motor. We should be receiving the cars about the middle of next month.
Well, this is going to be exciting, folks. I, for one, can hardly wait. I'm glad that they're finally getting rid of the turbochargers. The cars without the turbocharging is wonderful, and it has its place, but it really takes away the stage presence of some of these great cars. I think you'd probably agree.
Yes, sir.
Okay, one other thing. Don't run away. Chuck, follow me around here. I'm telling you, folks, there is so much going on here. Chuck, show the audience what's going on over here. We've got electric model slot car racing. All the way down there at the far end is the starting line, and they're running down into the pillow down on this end. So in addition to airplane races, in addition to fuel dragsters racing airplanes, in addition to jet cars racing airplanes, they've also got electric. Are they missing anything here today, you think?
No, sir. I don't know of a thing they're missing. I think they've got everything covered very well.
Fun day, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Very much.
Folks, hopefully the new Menard cars are going to have the same colors. This looks great.
Even Winston Cup was represented at the Show of Motion.
I said that Walt Taft had put together everything out here today. I mean everything. We've shown you Indy cars, we've shown you racing airplanes, we've shown you military airplanes, we showed you slot car racing, we showed you a Lister Jaguar. Guess what? We got a Winston Cup car, and you are?
C.R. Morgan.
And where are you from?
Liberty, North Carolina.
And what's your role with the car?
I take it around the world, let everybody get a close shot at it.
Okay, now do you ever get a chance to drive it?
Yes, sir.
And I understand this is more than just a show car. This one's fast.
Oh, yes, sir. This is race ready.
Really?
Yes, sir. We brought it out of Dover last week.
Is that right? Well, tell us about it, the driver and the credentials and all that.
Jeff Burton, he's a super guy. We finished 3rd, 4th, 7th with it so far this season. And we look for big things to happen out of Jeff.
This is the actual car that you ran on the circuit?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I should explain, folks. The reason I'm asking is most of the Winston Cup teams have what they call show cars that are.
Of course, as I'm sure you already guessed, Winston Cup became Nextel Cup.
This is actually one of the race cars that he ran in the race.
This car could be called back at any time.
How big of an engine?
You're looking 351 Cleveland.
And how much horsepower?
Small track, about 470, 480.
And on the big tracks?
570, 580.
Okay, how do you compare with the Chevys power-wise? I want to forget for a minute about the aerodynamics and all the rest of it. Run them up on a dyno. Where are you guys with Ford fall in?
I feel like we're in front.
Okay.
Power-wise.
Okay, and these are the right Ford guys to ask because this is Roush Racing. I don't think anybody does Fords as well as Roush, does he?
No, Roush's the best.
He really is. And once again, folks, all of these guys, all of these people, they're all here to answer your questions, to talk to you. You've been talking to folks all day.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, you get a lot of enthusiasm for Winston Cup because we're pretty far north.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got a lot of people up here wanting this here.
Well, it's a matter of right. I know the audience has all seen by now the newspaper accounts about the possibility of a racetrack out here on the DuPage Airport property. I can't get into it. We don't want to talk about it now, but I can tell you this. You just might be seeing these cars out this way. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir. I sure am.
Okay, that's enough said. I don't want to say more about it, but I don't want to say any more. But we'll keep our fingers crossed, folks.
What Bill didn't want to talk about were the plans underway to build a NASCAR track on the DuPage Airport property. The track was eventually built in Joliet and is called the Chicagoland Speedway.
Bill's right. Time to check out the air show.
Of the Air Combat Command's Commander, General Richard E. Hawley. I hope that you have enjoyed this brief look at the F-117A Stealth Fighter.
show, make sure you find your way down to Lansing Airport in Lansing, Illinois, June 11th, 2006, especially if you're a Ford fan. We'll be there, of course. Now, with time running out, let's thank those who, through the magic of digital imaging, saved this great footage. Sue Cassanda, our webmaster Frank Barbalace, Rena Borowitz, Samantha Bentley, Janine Lashot, and me, I'm Patty Borowitz.
In addition to an exquisite aerobatics routine, Susan Daisy agreed to race the Rock and Roll Thunder jet car. It's coming up in a moment. You don't want to miss this. Don't turn your head away from the TV set.
United States Navy military pilots during that World War II time frame into this super Stearman. Big change of course.
Can the Rock and Roll Thunder jet funny car catch up? No! I think he had trouble. I think the funny car had trouble, but it's all Susan Daisy as she climbs and does a victory roll, and she's got to get out of there because war is breaking out.
There it is, the MiG-15 is ahead. The F-86 is on his tail, though, ladies and gentlemen. Let's watch as they come in. Come on, Mike, go to guns. Let's go after him. That MiG-15's making an attack run right here. Whoa! Hey, what's going on? All right, as the MiG swings around, the F-86 is pulling off to the left. Is he going to swing around and go after him? The MiG swings out here, show right. Let's watch as he swings out there. MiG swings back in. He's coming back in hard from our right. Our F-86 is coming in out of some, but hey, that F-86 can't be leaving us out here all alone with nobody to protect us from that MiG-15. Hey, folks, get ready. Direct your attention. You know yourself that MiG-15 is here for one thing in mind. We've all heard him talking. He has been on the radio. He says, I'm going to get Citata, and he is coming after it. Right now, we've got the F-86 has got there. Come on, get that F-86 in here. Provide us with some air support. You got to remember this. Is going to run at us. He's going to be going after that tower, so be ready. To hope you have a good sight line towards the left. There he comes in right now. We've got Otto coming down the show line right now. He wants to see this, but I'll tell you what, Otto, you better get out of here. You are in harm's way. There's a MiG-15 out here, and he is armed and dangerous. Let's go. Right now, as the MiG comes down the line, let's watch as he's coming down our line right here in high speed. Oh, man, he is coming in here totally unabated. Boy, am I glad he's coming at that tower, not at me. All right, let's watch. He comes down the line right here. Fires on. He's got it going. Oh, man. Look at that. Oh, no. Oh, man. It blew the top right out of it. Oh, man. Oh, man. There it goes. What a wall. What a attack. Oh, man. Our MiG-15 has absolutely obliterated it. Where's our F-86? Watch right now as he comes in. He's got to bring it in a little bit tighter to go to a really good guns placement there. He's really staying on his tail very, very nicely, though, right there. Right in there tight. Boy, he has gotten himself right into position there. Great firing position for the F-86. Stay right there now, Mike. Don't let up on him because you know you give him a second, he'll be right back on your tail. Or worse yet, he'll be shooting at us. So let's go right now as he swings right out there off the right end zone. 86 has got great firing position there. He's got altitude on him. He's got the speed advantage. Let's watch as he brings it around here. Come on, Mike, do some of that fighter pilot stuff as he brings it around out there off the right end zone. He's bringing it in tight out there. He's accelerating up on him a little bit. He's closing that gap. He's bringing it in close enough. There won't be long. Mike Keenum can go to handgun fire and shoot him down as he swings in tight off the right end zone. They're really booking here as they come through. He's got that airplane right on his tail. We got the MiG-15 is getting very, very big in the windshield of the F-86. Let's watch as he brings it right in here right now. He's right up on him right now. Let's go. Come on, Mike. Put a few bursts into him. You're close enough now. There it is. He smoked him, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Isn't that a great sight there? The F-86 and the MiG-15 in formation flight.
The air show was spectacular. Let's meet one of the performers.
This show is very interesting, and there's lots of get to know these couple. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Maritza. They call me Ritzy.
Oh, really? That is really different. I like that. Where are you from?
Well, I am originally from Cuba, but now we're coming from Ponca City, Oklahoma. That's where we're based.
Oh, okay. It's good to know this guy here. Hi.
Hi,
how are you?
Fine.
That's great. Can I get your name, please?
I'm Jim Kincaid. I fly Oklahoma Crude.
Oh, wow. Can you tell me about this airplane?
Yes, I can. It's a Pit Special S2A, built in 1973, rebuilt in 82, and we started rebuilding again last year. The fuselage section, we'll do the wings after this air show season. It's sort of a family heirloom. We decided to hang on to it for a long time. We're not going to get rid of this one.
Did you help a little?
Well, I'm also a pilot, but when he's doing air shows, I am his ground crew. I am the one that coordinates everything, so things work smoothly for him.
That's great. Phil?
Thank you, Michelle. We're about to get blown away, and Michelle is real little, and she's got ostrich plumes on, and I don't think she yet has found out that ostriches don't fly, so she doesn't have to worry about taking off because the wind is about to take her away from us. Pit Special. I think we've been trying to bury these things now for about 20 years. We've got Christian Eagles, we've got all kinds of other airplanes, and yet somehow the Pit Specials keep coming and coming and coming. What's the deal with the Pit Specials?
Well, the Pit Special is the ultimate airplane. I know there's a lot of nice monoplanes out there, the extras and et cetera, all the monoplanes, the mid-wings and composites. But Curtis Pitts developed this machine in 1946. It's going to be here for a long time.
It's already been here a long time.
Everyone asked me how strong it is. I said it's like flying a bridge, except it goes real fast and real low.
He's right. The Pit Special is famous. And Chuck, if you would, maybe you can shoot past us over here. We've got a red one behind us over there and an orange one directly behind us. And do you guys do a routine together, or do you fly individually?
Actually, no. At this particular show, these two local pilots are aspiring air show pilots. They'll be flying the circuit in a few years. Eric Neely and Matt Mackenschnappel from the Aviation repair station over here. And they flew some formation with me yesterday just to open the show.
One wouldn't think that an aerobatics pilot is anything but bold. Agreed?
I agree and disagree. Bold is sort of a macho image, and actually it's not boldness that works. It's being consistent and focused and stay in good condition and be interested in what you're doing. Interested enough to stay with the stick and with the aircraft at all times.
I was going to try to make the point that you're not 16 years old anymore. You're still doing aerobatics, and I didn't think there were any old bold pilots is what I was trying to work it in somehow.
That's right. The old saying is there's old pilots and bold pilots, but there are no old bold pilots. I'm getting to be one of the older pilots. I'm 59 years old, and I intend to air show into my 70s. And we have a 4-year-old at home, and I expect to come to the air show and watch Randy fly one day.
Well, I'll tell you what, here's my kind of guy, and if you don't think motorsports doesn't keep people young, listen to that. You say you've got a 4-year-old?
That's affirmative.
And you're 59?
59. Actually, I have we have 5 children from 14 down to 4. The 2 youngest ones are adopted.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Motorsports keeps you young in more ways than one. Now, can I put you to work for a minute?
Sure.
This is real easy. I want to take it from you for just a moment. Step right over here. I want the audience to take one more look at this great plane. Step you right out here like this. Take a look at our camera, and I'd like you to say...
Don't go away, folks. We will be right back.
Let's squeeze in one more.
We have got a plane right here that we couldn't pass by for a couple of reasons. Number one, just as famous as the Pit Special, of course, are the Stearmans, and these things were famous for everything from aerobatics to crop dusting. They've been around an awful long time, very reliable, but in addition to all that, this one's called Big Red, and we've got our own Big Red.
That's right. As what you called me before was Peg Bundy. Remember that?
Yeah. We've got our own Peg Bundy.
Chicagoland's favorite redhead.
In any event, this is the kind of show I like, the kind of pictures I like, the kind of interview I like. We've got nothing but pretty girls and great airplanes and a beautiful blue sky. Can you have a nicer picture than that?
Sounds good.
Your name is?
Susan Dacey.
And where are you from, Susan?
I'm from Harvard, Illinois.
Tell us about your airplane.
Well, of course, this is Big Red. We've established that, and it is a Boeing Stearman. Its initial use was as a primary trainer for cadets during World War II, and as you stated, since then it was a crop duster, and now it's a kind of an air show star.
Kind of. I would say it's a big air show.
Yeah, you bet. No, that's.
How long have you been doing aerobatics?
I've been doing aerobatics for about 20 years.
Really? You don't seem. No. But about 25.
Good answer.
No, I'm quite taken. And what got you into it?
I grew up actually at a small airport about 30 miles from here in Harvard. It's a family-owned and operated business, and we seem to kind of lean toward this sports flying and aerobatics and such, and I just love doing the air shows.
Ultimately, what does an air show aerobatics pilot dream of? What would be your ultimate ride?
Well, I suppose it's performing at big air shows like this and at Oshkosh and such, but I enjoy every air show I attend because of the people there and the folks and the kids.
You don't want like a F-14 Tomcat or a F-15 Eagle or something? That's kind of what I was, this is Motorsports Unlimited. I was wondering what your ultimate ride would be.
Sure. Oh, that'd be a wonderful ride, but I have to admit, I think I found my niche. I love my Stearman with the big round engine and the biplane.
As a matter of fact, she's probably one of these people that says real engines have round airplanes. Real airplanes have round engines.
It's my bumper sticker.
Is that right? Now, can I give you one more piece of work?
Sure.
Step right out here. I want the audience to have one more look at this great airplane, just about like this, with your name in the background. Look at our camera, and I want you to say,
don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Remember earlier when I told you that the show of motion at the DuPage Airport was big? Well, guess what? We've got a lot more to show you. But we're out of time, with only enough left to acknowledge the fine work of our award-winning production team, including Chuck Itzenthaler, Randy R. Block, John Platania, Chris Block, and Tom McGrady. Special thanks to JBTV's Jerry Bryant. Music is created for us by Fireside Recording Studio in Westchester, Illinois, and by independent artists Roger Pauley and Jerry Herbert. Of course, we have to take a moment to thank the stars of this edition of Motorsports Unlimited: Michelle Donna-Maria, Dawn Caberlin, Peggy O'Donnell, and our host, Bill Wildt. Me, I'm Tim Murtaugh, here to explain that there was so much to see, we taped a second show. Watch for it as an upcoming episode. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
This program made possible in part by support from Bridgestone Firestone and your local Bridgestone Firestone tire retailers.
This program made possible in part by support from Copy That, located in the County Farm Plaza at County Farm Road and Army Trail Road in Carroll Stream, Illinois. This program made possible in part by support from PB Food Products, located on 47th Street at Western Avenue in Chicago, Illinois.
Motorsports Unlimited is produced by Bill Wildt, president of the Motorsport Advancement Crusade.
This program made possible in part by support from J.C. Whitney & Company, located just off I-80 at the Utica exit in LaSalle, Illinois.
This program made possible in part by support from Jimmy's Red Hots, located on Grant Avenue and Pulaski Road in Chicago.
This program made possible in part by support from the Chicagoland Toys for Tots Motorcycle Parade, held on Western Avenue in Chicago, the first Sunday in December.
This program made possible in part by support from ABC Auto Parts, located on Ashland Avenue at 138th Street in Blue Island, Illinois.
Motorsports Unlimited was created to raise public consciousness, understanding, and appreciation of the motorsport community and their activities. You can contact us by email at msutv.com, or you can write to Motorsport, P.O. Box 66242, Chicago, Illinois, 60666. We enjoy hearing from our audience. Please let us know what you think.
Next week on Motorsports Unlimited, we're taking you to the Bridgeview Sports Dome in Bridgeville, Illinois for their 3rd annual car show. It's a unique facility and the only one quite like it. Rain or shine, it's always perfect inside the dome. Join us next week on Motorsports Unlimited and have a look.
So that's it, another edition of Motorsports Unlimited and the lovely ladies of motorsports. And be with us next week because we'll have something real exciting. Bill Wildt's going to have the lovely ladies, and just about anything can happen right here on Motorsports Unlimited. Every week at this time, we bring you the best in motorsports. So be seeing ya. Bye-bye. And keep on rocking.